Thinking about a move to San Diego? Today we are going to get on the ground, vlog style, in Rancho Santa Fe. We're going to show you neighborhoods, we're going to show you some things to do in town, and everything in between. Let's get into it right now. Hello, I'm Cassidy Lewis.
And I'm Chris Erickson.
And we are realtors here in North County, San Diego. And this is where you come for all things North County. We're dropping new videos every single week on all things North County, neighborhoods, things to do, places to see, and everything in between. So if this is your first time here, definitely hit that subscribe button down below. And thanks for following along. And if you are thinking about a move to San Diego, definitely hit us up, call, text, email. We love helping people get out to North County, San Diego.
All right, so jumping into Rancho Santa Fe, give you a little perspective of where we are here in North County, San Diego. Right now, you can see we're on a little four-way stop. That way, you got Encinitas. That way, you got Solana Beach. The ways you can't see, kind of that way, you're going into the Del Mar area. And if you shoot up this road, you're gonna end up in Escondido and Lake Hodges. It actually turns into Del Dios Highway. There's a few other communities back here. Well, we're like right in the heart of kind of the Rancho Santa Fe area, the little village area. This is where you have the shops and restaurants. And Rancho Santa Fe is right on the edge of North County, San Diego. It's kind of right in the middle. It's not coastal. You are kind of set back a little bit. So if you're looking for beachfront or anything like that, you're gonna be looking at Solana Beach, Del Mar, Encinitas, all those kind of areas. But here it is kind of like bigger lots, bigger houses. So let's go check out some neighborhoods and some other things to do right here in Rancho Santa Fe.
So we are walking through the village here in Rancho Santa Fe, and it is a really cool feel. Like, it's definitely got that Spanish style, which a lot of Rancho Santa Fe does in general. But there's a ton of little bistros, wine bars, coffee shops, pretty much every amenity you need. We just walked past the barber. There's dry cleaning, insurance, a whole bunch of stuff, a million real estate offices, but you don't need that. Don't worry about that. So there is a lot that you can get done and taken care of right here. But if you're gonna go to a bunch of restaurants and stuff, you'd be leaving Rancho Santa Fe for the most part. We are standing in front of the inn at Rancho Santa Fe, so very cool spot. They have a great restaurant here. It's great for events. My sister-in-law and brother-in-law were married right here next to us, which was a great party here. There's a great little hotel rooms. They're a little bit kind of on that more old school feel. They have a little bit more of an old school feel, but it is very cool. It's a neat spot to check out for sure.
It's right at the end of kind of the village area. Turn you guys around real quick. Boom, that's where we just were cruising through. So that's the whole downtown, if you will. We'll call it a downtown village area in Rancho Santa Fe. And then the inn is right here. So right now we're still kind of on the edge of the village area, but this part of Rancho Santa Fe is actually in a bigger part of Rancho Santa Fe called the Covenant. A lot of people, when they are looking for houses out here in Rancho Santa Fe, want to be within the Covenant. So I'll pull up a map and kind of show you the outline of that, what it encompasses here in Rancho Santa Fe. It's not all of it, obviously. Surrounding other little areas outside the Covenant, there's a lot of gated communities and that kind of stuff. But if you do live within this HOA, you can actually go check out a lot more info on RSF Association and .com, or I'll bring it up anyways, and see all that's included in there. So your HOA fees are going to depend on the price of your home. There's a lot of amenities and stuff within the covenant that you do get. So when they originally made the covenant, that's what it was. It was more of a covenant, a piece of paper that kind of said all the rules and restrictions for building and kind of what you can do within this area. And now it's known as the Covenant. So not the, I think there's a witch movie called The Covenant. Do you know that one?
I don't know.
That's what I think of when I think of it. But anyways, so some of the things that you do benefit from when living in here, and you have to be a resident within the covenant, within the parameters of the covenant. You can join the country club, the tennis club. There's a few private parks around here. There's actually a cool like private little preserve that you'd have to sign up for it, but you could camp there, you go hiking out there. There's a lot of private equestrian horse trails out here that are exclusive to people living within the covenant.
If you are living in the boundaries of the covenant here in Rancho Santa Fe, there is an architectural board that monitors and dictates what you can do for remodeling or building a home. So just like most HOAs that have some sort of their own version of that, they have one here specifically to keep houses kind of in that same grain. You'll notice that a lot of them in this part of Rancho Santa Fe all have a really similar field, and it is called the Art Board here in Rancho Santa Fe.
The art jury.
Or jury.
Yeah, and they meet quite a bit. So if you are trying to get things approved, it seems like they do kind of have, it's not expedited process, but they do have, their meetings set throughout the year. So you do have to go through that process if you're gonna build, remodel, even pools, anything kind of out in this little area.
We changed locations, but we are still in the ranch, which is what locals call Rancho Santa Fe here in North County. And as you can see behind us, a lot of kind of the topography, a lot of what Rancho Santa Fe are these big rolling hills. A lot of the roads are, windy, but there's not that much traffic out here. But it's a lot of just property. And, a lot of the houses are 4,000 square foot and up. A lot of the price points are going to be starting at $3 million and up. It's all, for the most part, detached housing. There are a couple of little townhomes in the village, but we don't see those come up very often. But so for the most part, detached houses on really large lots. And as you can see right behind us, there's an orchard, which is very common here in Rancho Santa Fe. You get a lot of citrus. There are also some properties that have vineyards out here. So if you're into growing grapes, it's a great spot, especially with all these hills and stuff. That is a bonus for growing grapes.
And there's a wide variety of styles of homes out here. A lot of them in the Covenant area where we are right now are kind of that Spanish Mediterranean style, but some are like fairly old, some are like brand new and updated. There are crazy big estates out here as well, super luxury. And a lot of these properties too, most of them like 2 acre minimum lots, but you have that room to build your sports courts, your pools, your kind of cool little hangout areas. There's a lot of space to kind of do what you want with on your own property out here, with all the orchards and space and land. Obviously you got to take into account all the maintenance and stuff. So a lot of people, I'm looking right behind us, they do kind of that low drought tolerant landscaping, so it's kind of super easy. Maybe like really nice landscaping right around the property.
And if you are looking for kind of that luxury but single story specific house, there are a ton of them out here. Where if you go to like Encinitas Ranch or the Carlsbad Ranch, of the ranches in this area, most of those are going to be 2-story. They're larger homes, but they're going to be 2-story houses. Where out here you get a lot of single-story homes, and even some of the 2-story homes out here have elevators that kind of make them that 1-story feel anyway. As you can see behind us, we have a lot of these trees, which are eucalyptus trees, which aren't from around here. They are definitely from Australia. You'll see koalas eating them all the time at the San Diego Zoo. Chris, where do they come from?
They are actually out here. When they were starting to build up Rancho Santa Fe, a few of the train companies that were around here during that time, like a long time ago, maybe like 100 years ago, they planted a lot of these eucalyptus trees for the railroad ties, but they found out that they're not hard enough. And so they just had to leave them. They were basically pointless once they planted them. So you'll see a ton of these eucalyptus trees around. We just passed some, a bunch of people cutting them down, but makes good firewood, not so good for railroad tracks. 5 more things kind of about the covenant, Rancho Santa Fe. Tell us about the mailbox situation.
So the houses in the covenant do not have mailboxes at the house. So packages and stuff get delivered to your house, but your mail doesn't. So you'll need to set up a P.O. box if you care to. But there's a great service at the postal corner, which is right in Encinitas, where they deliver your mail out to you if you have a P.O. box there.
Second thing, if you do have an orchard on your property, there are companies locally here who will come out, take care of it, harvest during the citrus times, make sure everything's running good. So a lot of people do hire those people because it's a lot of work, It's like, these full-on orchards with like hundreds of trees and stuff. So number 3, with all those trails like we're on right now, there are a lot of equestrian properties out here, so a lot of horses and whatnot. So if you got horses, you're into horses, well, Del Mar Fair's right, or Del Mar Racetrack's right down the road too. But right in here, a lot of the properties do have areas, or even already built for barns, corrals, are they called corrals? Paddocks, all that kind of stuff. So there's plenty of that out here. Number 4, most of this area out here, there's no sidewalks, no street lights, so you're not gonna be cruising around. A lot of people do bike through here. There's no real bike lanes or anything like that either. But if you do want to get around, there are like a bunch of these trails kind of right in the heart of it. But as far as like the neighborhoods and stuff, the houses are spread out, and there's not like paved sidewalks or anything cruising around those areas.
And number 5, probably the biggest reason people move and live in Rancho Santa Fe is that privacy factor. Most of this area is super private, and with that, you'd expect a lot of gated communities. There's not as much in the covenant, but a lot of the homes, as you'll see, have their own gates kind of within there. Now there are some gated communities within the covenant and then on the outskirts, so there is that as an option as well.
Let's go check those out.
So we're standing outside of one of those communities. It's kind of on the outskirts of Rancho Santa Fe. We are in Fairbanks Ranch, as you can see behind us. And these homes are really large, huge lots. Price points starting around $5 million and up. Up is a big number, up into the 30s and $40 million. So sky's the limit here, but the amenities you do get or have opportunity to get in these properties is pretty spectacular.
And Rancho Santa Fe as a whole, including Fairbanks and everywhere else around, right now, just to give you perspective on kind of the market, the cheapest home on the market right now is $2 million. It's probably gonna go for well over that. But the most expensive home is like $98 million. So you got a wide range. That one's like 77 acres, 7 parcels, all kinds of property on there. The next one is 35 million. So there's a big gap. But anyways, there are some super expensive properties. But yeah, I think that 2 million is like the super low. More realistically, it's like 3 to 4 million is what you're looking at out here. So now we're kind of on the outskirts of Rancho Santa Fe. We're out of the Covenant area. We're at one of the other gates, front gates, or like little, it's called Cielo Village. It's at the bottom of Cielo, one of the other gated communities right up here. That community is a lot of second homes. They're all perched on top of the hill, so you get a ton of views, a lot of infinity edge pools, bigger places. It's once you get into the community and go up the actual hill, it kind of goes deep in back there. So there's a lot of actually homes on top of this hill overlooking all of San Diego County, but there's also a bunch of other gated communities in the Rancho area right across the road. You have the Crosby, you got Fairbanks Ranch a little bit further, you have the Bridges, and a lot of them, besides Cielo, have their own golf courses, country clubs, so you have that country club style living.
A lot of these communities on the outskirts here, like Cielo, Crosby, they're a lot of newer homes, so built in the last like 20 years or so. So if you are looking for a little bit newer home, the Covenant has a lot of those houses built in the 50s and 60s and up to new houses, but this is primarily newer developments kind of on the outskirts of Rancho Santa Fe. Cielo itself is kind of right on the edge of Escondido in Rancho Santa Fe, so a lot of folks, if they're looking primarily in Rancho Santa Fe, kind of leave this out of their search just because it does primarily, it lives very much like Escondido because that's where the closest shops are and all that. So that's Rancho Santa Fe. If you are looking for that private, exclusive country club style community, Rancho Santa Fe is definitely one to take a look at. Like we talked about, the price points are definitely going to be on that higher end, but if you are looking for land, if you're looking for just those kind of exclusive amenities, finishes, like some of these houses have just the most amazing finishes. We're looking at one right now, and they're just really incredible spots. There's also great opportunity for some of those older homes to go in and completely make them your own and completely remodel them. And then you've got the new stuff like we talked about in the outskirts of Rancho Santa Fe. You got Crosby, you got Cielo, you got Fairbanks Ranch. So if that's something you're looking at, you got options there too.
And in past videos, you may have heard us brand Rancho Santa Fe as the most boring place here in North County, San Diego. It's mostly due to that privacy, to the quietness out here. There's not a ton of infrastructure here. There's a lot, you know, a lot of that country club style living, so golf, there's a lot of equestrian. So that's what a lot of people like out here, just kind of that mellowness, the kind of the quietness out here. There's a few other areas, if Rancho is not your spot, that are kind of similar. Olivenhain over in Encinitas, it's kind of, I kind of say Rancho Santa Fe Junior, same kind of style living, a little bit smaller lots, but Elfin Forest is another kind of secret little area tucked away behind both of those as well. So those might be options as well. If you want to explore a few other areas, we have a ton of other videos on other neighborhoods here in North County, San Diego. We actually made one called The Most Expensive Neighborhoods in North County, San Diego. See if this one made the list. I'm pretty sure you know it did. And so if you guys are thinking about moving out here, you got questions, let's hop on a Zoom, give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email, whatever's easiest for you. We got your back when moving here to North County, San Diego. We'll catch y'all next time.